All right, I'm going to show you how to use Claude in 2026. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. So this is what you're going to see when you log in to Claude, and there's a lot that they've added to the tool, and you could definitely get overwhelmed if you're not in this space and living in this space like I do. Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini, Perplexity, I live in these tools all day long, right? I'm an affiliate marketer full time. I run multiple YouTube channels. So this is something that I do for a living. So this stuff isn't really that hard for me personally to comprehend. They're adding new things all the time. And sometimes it is a little bit difficult to keep up with, but I'm just going to kind of take this from if you were just brand new, kind of starting off with AI, you log into Claude, you hear about all this, the hype of, Claude being so good at Claude code and coding websites and this and that, right? You may not really know how to get started. So that's what we're going to be getting started with, right? So this is your side panel over here. Obviously you have your settings. You'll click on here and you'll go into your settings. You can, do all kinds of different things there, set your language and stuff. But for the most part, I'm going to, not going to go through settings in this tutorial. But what you do want to do is come over here and you can click on the side panel and you'll be able to see all the stuff that, that I use this for. All your past conversations, you'll be able to get into it at any point in time. But there's so many different menu items right over here, right? So you've got your new chat, your chat history, your projects, artifacts, customize, and that has connectors in it, all kinds of stuff. I'll go over that briefly, Claude code and Claude design and so forth, right? Then you can have your starred or favorited type things that you do a lot and use the tool for. But I'm going to just start off by, let's go and let's say you go to a new chat, right? When you open up, you're going to see this. Now, you can always choose what model you want to use. Now, Opus 4.8 is the most powerful, period. It's even more powerful than Sonnet 4.6. Now, if you're just using it for everyday tasks, asking it questions, writing marketing copy, just writing an email for yourself, things like that everyday business person would be using, or even using it in your personal life to help you organize your, try to be more productive at home or something like that. Sonnet 4.6 is going to get the job done for you. I really don't recommend using Haiku 4.5 unless you're just doing something that's really bulk. A lot of times that's for developers because that's the cheapest version of Claude, and they'll use an API and they'll connect to their app and maybe and then they just save a lot of money by doing that. And that's usually for predictable type of answers. But if you want to use the most powerful version of Claude, you would definitely use 4.8 right now. Currently, at the time of recording this video, you can go and adjust your the effort that you want. If you want it to take its time all the time, then you can go over here to high or max. You can also go to extended, always use deep reasoning. I always have that checked. I want it to take a little bit more time and be more thoughtful. Now you can adjust your models. And for now, I'm just going to use Opus 4.6 because I just want it to be faster. I don't want to use all the credits to show examples of this because even though I'm on a $20 monthly plan right over here, using the latest version of it will take a lot. It will eat into my credits, and I only get so many credits every 3 hours. I have a 3-hour window or something like that. So what you could do is you could type in here, hey, write an email, and it will just start working for you. But I'm sure you know how to do that. So I'm not going to, insult your intelligence by telling you, okay, hey, write an email for XYZ, right? I don't need to do that, but we're going to start getting into a little bit more technical ways to use Claude, right? So if I wanted to use it to my calendar or anything like that, you can go over here to this plus over here and you'll see that we have connectors, right? And you'll see all these that are turned on. Those means that I do have connectors right here, okay? There's another way up here to get to the connectors, and I'll show you that in a little bit as well. But right here, we could go and just our settings in here. We could either use a skill or a connector. I can come over here and you can see all these ones that we have actually gone through the steps to connect. And so I can see that I am connected to my Gmail. And so I could come over here, and I already did this ahead of time so I don't have to wait. But what I said was, hey, from my email, round up any commission types of emails that I've received over the past 7 days and total it by email sender or vendor, then give me a grand total of the commission. So it went and it actually connected to my email because we have that email connector right over here. When we go into connectors, see how it says that we are connected to Gmail. If this is turned off, toggled off, then we are no longer connected. But we were connected right there. I did have to do a reconnection. And if you have ever logged in with your email, that's basically what ends up happening. So it goes out there and it searches all the stuff I said to provide it in a table type of format. So it did this. And it says, okay, here's vendor right over here. We've got JV Zoo. We've got, I sold that right there. Boom, boom. Wordful right there. I sold another AI subscription, and we sold something else right there. Sold another thing right there. So it totaled it. And it says, hey, you've made $82. Yippee, from the last 7 days in that particular email, right? And so it'll give you some notes right there. So you can literally just type in a prompt and it will go out there, and based on commissions coming in. So what did I just do? And what did I just save myself? I didn't have to log into JVZoo. I didn't have to log into like Warrior Plus. I didn't have to log into AppSumo. I didn't have to log into like 30 different places that pay me. This just went because I have notifications for everyone that pays me money in this account. And so now it's so much easier to use AI to go in there and just find the emails and provide the data for you in a matter of 60 seconds. Whereas it would take probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes to log into all those accounts, write down the totals into a spreadsheet, and then total it. And I just don't have time for that, right? That's just not a good use of my time when I can spend 60 seconds using AI, the power of Claude, to do something so simple like this that will tally that for me, okay? So that's just one pretty simple use case on how you can use connectors in order to do some really cool research, okay? Now what I want to go over here to is I want to go and click on this menu bar over here. So we've kind of covered chats. This is your chat bar where you can type in anything you want or want to achieve with the tool. Then we're going to come down over here to projects. Now I have a lot of projects in here. You can see just a ton of different projects that I do use in here. I've been using this for years. And what I can do is, for example, viral YouTube title creator, right? So I'll show you how this is so cool. Okay. So now you have a project over here and you can see all these different things that we've done. And I can just keep going and going and going. And I use the heck out of this all the time. So how does this work? Well, we have files over here and we can go and we can add a file from a device. We can add a text from this and you can actually just manually add it in. And I love this part right here. This does separate Claude from the other AI large language models like ChatGPT and so forth. To my knowledge, none of those allow you to just literally type in what you want and create a file or knowledge base from within the tool without having to upload. A lot of times I have text or I have something and it's like, but it won't take that. So I have to actually go and create a Word document, download the file so that I can go and upload it, right? In other tools, they only give you this option. So I really like that option right over here. You have GitHub, you have vidIQ right there as well. Then you're going to come over here. It's going to take a memory of what's going on. You can turn that on or off. A memory of yourself. It knows what I do, my YouTube channels. It has a good idea of my brands and just kind of what I do online. And that really helps the AI. And you can use that across all of your projects. Then you come over here to instructions and we come over here and you can see I have this full blown out instruction. You're a YouTube SEO expert. You're writing blah, blah, blah. I instruct it to use the creator hooks theology on how to create really good. Now I can come over here and these are just emails that I get from a company that goes over how to make the best YouTube titles, right? So I versions of that. And at a certain point, you train the AI enough to where you really don't have to do that anymore. We have 1 of 10 as well. I put that in right there. So that's you build this expert tool that really knows. And then you can go in here and you can say, hey, I also create a lot of like make money online type videos. Here's a channel that crushes it called Make Money Matt. So what I do is I just grab all their titles as well and say, hey, here's what works for this guy. It's in the same niche as me, so you can also use that. Now, I could come up here and say, hey, give me 10 titles that are specific to Make Money Online Matt. Win the instructions, and it will do that, right? And if I don't override it somehow right here, then it will just exactly follow this instruction to the T. Now, what I love to do here is I actually paste in on each run, use all the information combined with the project knowledge to create 10 perfect YouTube titles, 70 characters or less, so I tell it exactly what to do. It should be similar to the titles in the project knowledge, getting more than 1,000 views. After creating 5 titles, select the estimated top title, blah, blah, blah. And then what I can do is I can actually how I do this now is I paste in. So let's just go over here. Here's something that I promoted, and I'll show you what this looks like, right? So I actually paste in my, I come back up here. I paste in this right here, which is the entire transcript It's a transcript of my video, right? So I paste the transcript from my video and I push enter, and then boom, okay, got it. So now it goes out and it does all this information, and then it finds me and tells gives me all the titles that I'm asking for based on all those frameworks and models, right? All the frameworks and models that we have in here. And it creates all these amazing, and it tells me the framework, right? Creator hooks, Rob the AI guy, 1 of 10. So I have all these amazing titles that other people figured out how to create really cool titles. And then it creates those YouTube titles for me. And then it tells me which one it thinks is the best. Right over here after 5. So the top recommended title is this new AI tool makes $150 mockups for just $14. That is the best title. And then you can go over there and then it tells you what your thumbnail, the text in your thumbnail should be, right? It gives me a 45-second hook script that I could go and record and then add it to the front of my video. So this is a workflow as a YouTube content creator that I use, where I go and record my video, and then I take that transcript, because I'm using AI to transcribe my videos, whether it's Tela.tv or Descript or something like that, right? And so then I get that transcript, I paste it in here, and then I could create an introduction if I wanted to. If I wanted to go the extra mile, do the extra work and all that. I usually don't do that, but it's there for me if I want to do that. And then you have your 1-sentence summary that you can put in your YouTube description. You have your promotional email you can go out and send and get people to, get more eyeballs on your video and send out to your email list. Then you've got a Twitter X post right here. You have a school community post right there for each community. You have your tags you can put into your video. And then you have your hashtags right to you. So it basically takes care of, and then if there's anything that I need to do that's different, I can just come down here and say, hey, I don't like the email, rewrite the email. Boom, it'll rewrite the email. And I can be specific about the way I want it to write the email. This is a really good way to use Claude, is creating projects, right? And so all you have to do is just come over here. If you want to go into projects, you can create a new project by clicking right here, and you can say, hey, I want this to be my Twitter X workflow. You're going to say what it does. You're going to, and that's what I do, just type in something here just to show you what it looks like. Then you come in here and you have a brand new dashboard for a project. We have no instructions, no memory, nothing, right? So we can come over here, we can upload all the files that we need, add content right there. And then we come in here, we can add instructions on what we want this tool to do. So essentially the way I look at it is that you're building a miniature software for yourself that's specific for your business use case. Right here. And you could even build this out in your personal life where it helps organize your week. And you can say, hey, do this, do this, do this. And each time I use the tool, I'm going to explain what I have. I'm going to paste my calendar in here. And I want you to organize it and tell me, hey, what are the best 3 times that I can, take my kid to the park or something like that this week, if you're a busy mom or a busy dad or something like that, right? So there's so many different things that you can do right there. So projects have been probably my favorite use case for the last 2 or 3 years using Claude. I really love the projects because that when I come in here, you can see right here, starred. I have a course creator one right here that I have so much information about my business right here. It's basically an expert. It's a complete genius when it comes to, it has all the information, controlled information about affiliate marketing, Warrior Plus, my business, high school communities, and so forth. And then I can come in here and I say always refer, and then instructions to the project knowledge first and foremost when creating responses. So I always tell it to always control the information, so this is how a great way that you can control Claude from hallucinating or going out and going to the internet and researching things that maybe you don't really even want it to. You already have the information over here and you want it to go out and use that information, right? So we can come in here and I created a product over here, Product Spark OTO funnel strategy. So I come in here, I had an idea for a product and I said, hey, build this entire thing out for me. And then it goes out there and it builds out this entire funnel structure for if I wanted to create a product, what the pricing should be, what the order bump should be. It did this entire thing that I could go out there and create this Warrior Plus funnel, a funnel of products, and launch it on Warrior Plus. So many different things that you can do in your business life, in your work balance, and your personal life as well. Okay. So projects, don't sleep on that one. That one's an amazing one. Okay. So artifacts is really, really cool because I'm going to show you, there's all these different artifacts, and what this basically means, I'm going to explain it in kind of the terminology that I kind of understand it. Artifacts are something that happens while you are inside of a chat. While you're inside of a chat, you may say, hey, build out, if it creates a miniature software, inside of a chat, that becomes an artifact. And what I mean by that is when I go and use one of my tools that for doing like keyword research, right? So let's just say I click on this one, right? So it's an artifact that was built inside of one of my chats at one point, and it basically built this tool right here, right? So you can come over here. There's literally a software built right over here, and you can see I can scroll back up here, and we kind of design it, and I kind of decided what to do. An artifact is going to be when you tell it to code something or do something that it actually creates a view of a software or something like that. That is basically an artifact inside the software. Okay, so this is what it looks like, right? It's literally like this tool, and I'll show you, I'll put it to use right here, right? So I've got this tool over here, and let's just say I have keto diet, and we come back over here into Claude, and this is the keyword keto diet. I'm going to leave this, but I can go and change this, but I'm going to keep it at where it needs to be, 78. You have aggressive, you have non-aggressive right there, and then you can say suffix right here, threshold 50 characters. I can move that as well. It doesn't really mean anything to you, but it just trust me, it's really powerful. So we built this tool right over here, so I can come over here and do keyword research, right? And then we got all these keywords right over here, just a ton of keywords. I'm going to come back up here and I think just download this. So we'll download this. We'll open this bad boy up, and let's just say you've got all these keywords, right? I've got 1,300 keywords, but not all of them are good. Maybe we want this cleaned up. They're not in title case. They're not ready to go. We want to make these titles way better for YouTube, right? So what I would do is I'd just come over here and I would copy all these, right? And I can copy this entire thing, like thousands of keywords actually. This tool will work. So I'll copy this. We've got all the keywords right here, and I can come back in here. And I think I might need it to be comma separated. Let's see right over here. So I'm going to go boom. Nope, we're good right there. Okay. So now I have this clean, optimize 1,346 words. I'm going to click that button and watch what happens over here to the right side over here. Now we have all these keywords and all these different formats, can and how. And look, can I eat this on the keto diet? Simple tutorial, right? So it's adding in that extra little bit of flair, making it more title, making it look like a professional YouTube title, but we're still keeping the meaning and the exact keyword right here so we can get views for search. So this is a very, very cool tool that I built for myself. It's an in-house software. Of course, I could build a software really cool and go and sell it and everything, but this is just a proof that I use this inside of my business and I can do some very powerful things with this. Now, open as a text file, we can go and look at the different statistics right over here. It does get rid of some. So the final version of this, we just cut that 1,300 list down because it's trained to also skip some keywords that are not going to do very well. It kind of knows. And so we have basically took a 1,300 word script. We've gotten rid of like duplicates, keywords that are very, very similar. And we shrunk it down to 1,100 keywords. Then we filtered this and then we deduped this. And then we basically have 700 finalized keywords that I can go in here and I can just do a control copy right here. And I can go back in just to show you. We'll go back into Excel. I could open up a new one. So instead of 1,300 keywords, we now have our perfect list of 700 keywords that we can now go and create all these videos in the ketogenic diet right here. So that's another amazing way to use this. And that is basically what artifacts are. Okay. Now we're going to come over here and I'll show you how to customize. We can go into the customize section. Now there are some plugins. Now personally, I don't use plugins in here. There's not a whole lot in here, but you can use these like productivity. They have a bunch in here. Marketing, legal, human resources, engineering, operations, PDF viewer. So these are some different, I believe that these are created by Anthropic. So you can go and build kind of your own workflow or process inside there. But here's those connectors that I'm talking about, right? So they have a bunch of connectors in here from a bunch of different softwares that you can now connect to utilize inside of Claude with using specific connectors. They're already like, it's kind of like the best way to explain it is it's just basically a modern API, bridging the gap between two softwares, but it has a specific API integration, if you will. It's a connector. It's called a connector. So you could come in here and we could go with connector right here, and you can see all these different connectors that I have. So I have vidIQ, for example, right? So I have vidIQ, and what I could do is I'll show you how to use a connector. So we'll come back over here and we'll go into a new chat. And I'll just say, I'll say, use the vidIQ connector, do YouTube keyword research on the keto diet, find 5 video ideas based on a high search volume, low competition keywords. And I'm just going to do that, right? So now it's going to use the vidIQ connector. It's going to do YouTube keyword research based on that connection, right? So now you're not just relying on a large language model like Claude to go out there and try to, if you leave it on its own and it doesn't actually have this data, it's really not going to be that accurate. And that's just the facts. But utilizing one of the best, or if not the best, YouTube keyword research and search volume keyword in the world, it's connected right here. Let me pull the keyword data from vidIQ. Good seed data. Let me dig deeper with a couple more targeted searches to find the low competition gems. It's going to get to work, and you can see this little blue dot right over here. It literally is vidIQ's power because they have data that Claude does not. They have the actual search volume. So now this is one of the most powerful ways to use AI, because now you can kind of chat with and use the power of Claude. And Claude's really good at creating YouTube titles and so forth, but then also getting factual data from vidIQ about search volume and keywords, combining the two softwares together to actually create some amazing opportunities for yourself. So like keto cheese, best cheese on keto. It says that's a great keyword. So your video idea could be the 10 best cheeses for keto, right? And 3 that you should avoid. That is the exact kind of title that gets hundreds of thousands of views if you create a high quality video. If you don't create a very good video, you probably won't do too well with that keyword, because it's going to be a side order of search, but it's still going to be a browse based type keyword. So it actually is powerful and can bring a lot of views to you. Again, you've got to be able to deliver the high quality video, especially in this niche right here where it's a very competitive. Keto tuna patty. So it's finding some really cool things and it will tell you, hey, there's search volume here. There's search volume here. These are good keywords to go after, right? Low carb recipes. And this is just how powerful this is. It's giving us the title. So keto recipes or keto diet for beginners, everything you need to know in 15 minutes. So then you can just tell it, hey, give me 10 more, give me 50 more. And it will go out there and do all that research for you. So you never don't have ideas for YouTube or Instagram or your website or whatever you're doing. Now, all you have to do is just use this. And this was a great prompt actually. And all you'd have to do is just go and change this one keyword out to your actual niche, right? You could even be specific and say, hey, the keyword has to be at least 4 or 5 keywords. So you're looking at very long tail keywords that will even increase your chances of getting hits from search and ranking for search for that keyword, right? So another great way to use Claude, okay? Then we're going to go in here to code. I'm just going to show you that if you're going to use actual quote unquote Claude code, this is an actual something that you have to download for your PC or your Mac. It recognizes I'm on a Mac, so it's going to say, hey, download for the Mac, right? You put this on your actual machine, and it's an actual Claude application that lives on your desktop, and it can actually read folders, files, all that kind of stuff. So this is really for people that are truly like developers in coding, and they want to be able to access folders and save the HTML files and do a lot of technical stuff. So if you're not really familiar with that kind of world, you kind of can skip Claude Code because you can do so much on the Cloud app. If you're trying to build a website, even if you're trying to vibe code an app, you really don't even have to download Claude Code. Claude Code is really if you are doing coding and stuff and you want it to communicate directly with your desktop computers. Okay, so that's what that's for. So I'm not going to really show that. That would be an entire tutorial in itself. But I will show you what you can do. So if you open up a new chat and you go up here and you say something like this, create a simple high quality landing page for my plumbing business in Denver, Colorado. The main CTA is to capture leads, name, email, phone, what plumbing issue they have based on the 5 most common repairs needed. Add a 6th for other and ability to type specific need. This should be a one-page type website with a menu at the top that takes user to that location on the landing page. We call back within an hour. So let's see what ended up happening. It built this in about 10 minutes or less. And so it built this out for us. And this right here, this is an artifact, right? We click on this. This is the artifact that was created. And you can see Denver Pro Plumbing. We didn't tell it what the company's name is, so it just went with that, right? We can come in here and say, change the name to David's Plumbing. It will change this to David's Plumbing. So we have our services, why, us, reviews, contact. We've got to get a free quote. right here. We can go in here and we would actually need to publish this site right over here, but this is what the site looks like, right? We can change the font. This is what it came out of the gate with, a really nice looking website. But of course, you can take a screenshot from another website that you like and paste that in here and say, create it similar to this website, something like that, right? We could change the font to Poppins or sans serif or whatever we want to do. And now they can put in their name, their phone number, all that stuff right here. They can say, we have a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, boom, a water heater, boom, other. And then they can type in, like we said, boom, get a free quote, and we'll call them back within an hour. We've got our landing page right over here. We've got testimonials right there. And it would be a very functional website for a lead gen website for a company. And this could actually be a lead gen website if you're just trying to sell these leads as well. So that's a great way you can use Claude and use code. And I just used Opus 4.6, right? It gets even more powerful than this. If I was actually going to build a website that I'm going to actually use in my business or for a client, I definitely would use Opus 4.8 at this time. Last but not least is Claude Design, which I just started using recently. Now, there's some really cool stuff, but I can actually show you. So you have prototype, slides, document, wireframe, and animation. Now I used animation. We also created a brand kit for myself, and you can see that right here. That actually did take like 20 minutes or so, 20 or 30 minutes to create a brand kit for yourself. I'm not going to go over how to do that, but this is all about, like, if you wanted, just think about using either Photoshop or Canva and completely not even having to use those anymore and just using this right here, and it'll do everything for you. That's the power of Claude Design. I can show you 5 days ago I used this, and I actually created an entire YouTube video, recorded it, and published it based on this right here. Now I can come over here and it codes this out like your vibe coding, kind of like we just did with the website, right? So it created this whole thing for us, right? And it created this. I can go to present and I'll just go in tab right here so you can see what it looks like. But we can go full screen. It will literally record in full screen. And you can see all my text that I want to cover right here is on the right side, and all the visuals are right here. Now watch what ends up happening. Now let's say I push record and I'm going to record a YouTube video now. So it'd be like, most people think you need to go viral to make money on YouTube. Now look, it says to click this, right? So I'm going to click this and watch what happens on the left-hand side. This is a ridiculous, cool way. Now, if you want me to show you how to do this, type in the comments below. If you made it this far in the video, and just say, hey, YouTube, say Claude Design Tutorial. If you leave in the comments Claude Design Tutorial, first of all, I know you made it this far in the video, that you're serious about how to use Claude in your business. And the second thing would be that I'll know that, okay, you guys, someone wants me out to actually tell you how I did this. So I'd be happy to do that as well, right? So now as you read, look at the left-hand side, and then it skips to the next one. Most people think, boom. So now you have these really nice visuals that's kind of like a PowerPoint presentation. But what you would do is you would record your webcam and you would record yourself talking about this subject, right? And look at the left-hand side. It's visually appealing. It's what you have to pay video editors a lot of money to do on your video. And then when you're done recording this, you just take your webcam and you would just cover this side of your screen. And then now you'd have a really nice talking head video that also has really nice graphics and a presentation right here like that, right? So that's a really cool way to use Claude as well. And that's Claude Design. So I just basically gave you a crash course, showed you exactly how to use that. Now you can pick one, two, multiple. Most people are not going to use every single ability of Claude. That's just not the way. Most people don't have businesses like that. But you're probably going to be able to come in here and find a couple of the things that I went through and find really nice use cases for yourself to help, whether it's going to help you if you're a content creator to create better YouTube titles and blog posts, whether it's to connect to your calendar or your email to bring you statistics, or find empty spots in your busy calendar to do certain things in your personal life or whatever, right? If you're going to use this to build websites and sell them, you're going to use Claude Code probably. At a bare minimum, you're going to use new chats here, and you're going to say Opus 4.6, you're going to change this to 4.8. You're going to say build a website. You're going to work on your prompting right there and so forth. There's so much you can do. It's super powerful. I'll leave some links below for some of the things that I do in my business. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.